my day with peace. I know that I am blessed and in the presence of Spirit. And so I say good morning and welcome to our family that is joining us virtually via Facebook, as well as those who are part of our Zoom community and those who are here in the sanctuary. Welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. Today is the weekend that we celebrate Valentine's Day. It is also for our football fans in the community, Super Bowl Sunday. It is also the season for nonviolence, and I'm sure that there are numerous other activities and events that are being honored and celebrated this weekend. I'm not a football fan, and so I say hooray to whomever the winning team is designed to be, and I'll leave it that way. And so for the month of February, we are focusing on the theme, the inner life. And our topic for today is pause and find the cause. Pause and find the cause. And I'll add a subtitle, Be the Vision of God. Be the vision of God. And I begin with this quote from Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, who says, "We're always setting something in motion. As representations of the presence of God, we get to speak a word. We get to release that soulful vibration out into the universe. And so we must ask ourselves on a regular basis, what am I about to say? And what am I setting into motion? What am I about to do? And what am I setting into motion as a result of that? And what are my predominant thoughts about what I am setting into motion? Do we ever take that pause to stop and be mindful of what it is that we're setting into motion by our words, by our thoughts, by our actions? It's an opportunity to continually just focus within, reflecting on the inner guidance. Our beautiful flowers this morning are donated on behalf of my family in the memory of my wife and our beloved Angel Greer Collins. Yesterday, I joined members of the family at the gravesite on the anniversary of her transition. And then following that visit, we had a meal and shared some time together. So it was nice being there with family and making that connection. And I also extend this invitation to you who are in the sanctuary, part of our Zoom community, and also part of our Facebook community. Breathe and slow down. Extend the invitation to you to donate flowers if you choose, in memory or in celebration of an event that is happening in your life. It could be the celebration of an anniversary, the celebration of a new position, the celebration of a new housing, celebration of a new relationship, this being Valentine's Day. Anything that causes pause for celebration, you're welcome to share that with us as part of the community through a floral arrangement. And if you just send I'll put a note in our newsletter with the guidelines for that. Just send an email into our center office, and we will be glad to support you with doing that. Also during the week, said goodbye to my granddog number 2. This is an inside joke within the family. Both of my daughters had pit bulls, and so I adopted them as my granddogs, since where we were living at the time, we could not have a dog. And so the older one crossed over to the Rainbow Bridge at some point last year. And so we said goodbye to Minaj, who is also crossed over to the Rainbow Bridge. And so with broken hearts, there's still the love of the energy and the life that the animals bring to us, because they truly are members of our family. And so as we pause to find the cause or pause to look at the cause of things that happen in our life, I'd like to focus for a moment on the teachings of science of mind. This philosophy teaches spiritual principles, and principles in themselves are invisible. However, we see the visible effect everywhere in our world and in our universe. And the key thing to remember is that our use of the principles does not change the principle itself in any way. It is always there, ready to respond and make itself known in the visible world and by the results of its activity. The principle, as Dr. Holmes described it, is first cause, and the result is a visible and in the effect. And so let's go with the working definition of cause to set the tone for our time together. Cause is that which causes or produces an effect. An effect is the product of the cause, or the manifestation or demonstration is the product of an effect. You can see there's a riddle going here. Cause causes and produces an effect. Effect is the product of the cause. Manifestation, which comes out of the cause, or demonstration, is the product. And everything we perceive in our physical senses is an effect. So what we put out into the universe comes back to us as a result of the effect that we see. And I'm going to expand on this morning, and my reference point will be course resources from the Beyond Limits class, which is a part of our foundational series in the Centers for Spiritual Living teaching lineup. We live in a reciprocal universe. It is the invisible counterpart of every visible form. There's that which is in the visible that is working and comes out of the invisible, moving back into the invisible. We get what we give. If not now, then tomorrow. But we do get what we give. And so we attract to us what we are. The first time I read this, I go, no, I don't know if I agree with that or not, that I really attract who I am. And then as I've done my work and my studying along the way and heard this from other spiritual teachers, I've begun to realize that I and we really get what we are. When we feel agitated with inner tension, irritation, or disharmony and suffering, we generate negative thoughts. These mental impurities, as they are described, cannot exist in an environment of peace and harmony. And this is why we are invited to be mindful of our thoughts. The expression, change your thinking, change your life, comes to mind as an example of this. By not healing our emotions, we lose our health, we experience uncertainty, and we turn life into a process of continuous unhappiness. Now just saying that drops my energy. That is not the experience that I choose to have. And so I am experiencing joy. I am experiencing harmony. I am experiencing health in every area of my life. I recall one of my teachers along the way, along this journey to ministry, saying that the role of a minister is to grow in the public eye. And so the reciprocal universe, being an example of that, gave a big flashback to me. I'm currently teaching the Spiritual Principles and Practices class. And we're into our second week. We'll actually move into week 3 on Thursday. But for the first 2 weeks of the class, I was presenting from a different teacher workbook and a different student workbook than the students actually had. And they're looking at me with this blank look, and they're saying, Reverend Robert, nothing on my paper is relating to what you have on your paper. How embarrassing. I go, oh my God, how could this happen? I'm the teacher. I'm supposed to be on top of all of this. What I discovered as I paused and went back to the cause of that was I was using an earlier version of the curriculum. And what I'm accustomed to is when there's a revision in the curriculum, there's a revision date that is put as placed as a footer. And that was not done so with this particular revision. So I say to the students, I am now current, I am in sync with the class, and we will be operating from the same text material in our classes moving forward. Our deeply held convictions are inevitably reflected in our experiences and in our environment, in both the physical condition of our bodies and in our affairs in general. And this also comes out of the Beyond Limits course. And I offer this to you as an example of a deeply held conviction that I am choosing to release, I'm setting an intention to release, and I'm putting things into my practices to release these. And so one of my deeply held convictions was that, I'm too old to learn. Well, I'm breaking out of that syndrome. I'm telling you right now, I'm breaking out of that syndrome. And the other one is I generally get lost while I'm driving, especially if I'm driving a distance. I have a tendency to argue with my GPS and say, no, I don't want to go that way. I know the route that I want to go. Well, why do you use the GPS? I use the GPS as a guide point to let me know if there are obstructions in the way and will reroute me around it. And so as I learn to listen to the GPS and follow its direction, I find that I generally have much better results. So this is an old belief that I am releasing. But I had a different experience with my GPS this week. I signed up to attend an art exhibit at the Old Mint in downtown San Francisco. Well, I know that area quite well because I worked in that general area for quite a few years when I was in San Francisco. But I use the GPS as a guide because generally if I'm going into San Francisco from Monterey, it will either take me up Highway 101 or it will take me up Highway 1 through Santa Cruz and then up through the mountains and along 280, for those of you who are familiar with the geography. One is closer to the coast and the other is closer to the bay. So depending on what part of San Francisco I'm going into, the GPS will direct me appropriately. Well, I'm going along following the GPS instructions and of course, my limiting belief that I get lost comes into effect. I get to a point where there's an exit and I am to take the north ramp to continue on my journey, but the north ramp and the south ramp are very close together and there's a long turnoff for them, one venturing to the south and one venturing to the north. Well, my view was obstructed by a truck that was in front of me and I wound up going to the south. And I said, oh, okay, I'm familiar with the area, so I just go to the next exit and I can self-correct and get back on. GPS will support me. Well, the GPS wound up not supporting me and I literally did get lost. And at some point, the GPS says, I'm lost. GPS is lost. That was the expression. GPS is lost. Wow, two lost entities here. And fortunately, I was familiar enough with the area that I pulled off the freeway, rebooted my cell phone. The GPS reinvigorated itself and got me back on. And I wound up at my destination at the appropriate time. The other aspect of that is I'm too old to learn. I set the intention that as being a lifelong learner, that I have to expose myself to various learning opportunities. And so as I continue to expand my interest in this world of art, there is an exhibit at the Old Mint titled Verse, the Art of the Future. And it's described as a place where art and technology intersect together with features augmented by reality holograms and featuring artwork by top-selling artists in the burgeoning world of NTFs, non-fungible tokens. New languaging for me, new terminology. And I get all of these invitations to join this particular person to invest in Bitcoin. And they're showing all of these fancy illustrations of their material things that they're buying. Not for me, not for me. You know, I'm still traditional in the sense that I like old-fashioned money that has pictures of dead presidents on it. You know, that's the tangible world that I'm living in. And this Bitcoin and NTFs and all of this is a brand new venture for me. And so with my expanded version of art and some of the things that I've been reading about, the role of the NTFs in creating this market, I was like, oh, here's a new opportunity to learn and expand my awareness. But anyway, back to the exhibit. The exhibit was absolutely fascinating. Wearing a hologram. And of course, there was some drama with that. You know, I was wearing a cap, so the guy says, well, you have to turn your bill backwards and turn the bill backwards. I go, oh, okay, I'm cool. I'm a young person now, wearing my bill backwards. And then that wasn't working. So then the glasses were blocking it. So, you know, so I take off the cap, take off the glasses. We finally get this adjusted. And he says, now, when you see the angel, you're ready to go. No, when you see the ballerina, you're ready to go. So the first one he tried on, no ballerina. I said, I don't see the ballerina. Where'd the ballerina go? So he says, oh, well, maybe this one isn't working. So he gives me a second one. My morning for technology, okay? So he gives me the second one and it warms up. And so I see the ballerina. And so the ballerina is, as I'm standing in the sanctuary and looking towards the back door or the entrance, the front door, would be the way I would describe the hallway that I'm standing in and looking at through this hologram. And so the ballerina is dancing, and then there are other objects that are coming in. And it was like walking through an actual art gallery. And then as I walked down the hallway, there were different images that would project onto the wall. To the naked eye, this was a blank brick wall. But using the augmented technology, the hologram, these things came to life. And I go, oh, this is cool. This is really fascinating. So there was a dragon coming at me, and then there was a creature that reminded me of the Incredible Hulk. If any of you may be familiar with that movie from the dinosaur years, as my 13-year-old commented about yesterday. But anyway, it was fascinating. And then there was a time limit for that particular aspect of the viewing. And then returning the headset, there were individual rooms where one could go in and see images that were projected on the wall. And in order to see the image, there was a bar that we had to scan. You scan into your phone or your handheld device, and then this image comes up, and it allows you to take a picture of the image. So it's a way of capturing your visit into this exhibit and getting back to it. So that's a new avenue for me that I am exploring. Exploring our deeply held convictions remind us that we get what we give, we attract what we are, and when we ignore or misuse the universal law, we suffer from confusion. It's like me arguing with my GPS when it is functioning properly and saying, I don't want to do that. Well, I get the result of a deeply held conviction that I know where I'm going, I know how to get there, and I'm using a support that says there may be obstacles along the way. This is what we do with our intention. This is where our intention kicks in. When we are in tune with that innermost presence within us, that is where we hear the voice of the reality, not the augmented reality, but the reality saying, go this way, turn this way, stop, back up, or whatever the direction is. And our third illustration is the subtitle that I have this morning, and that is Be the Vision of God. Be the vision of God. The study of science of mind allows us to uncover our hidden beliefs. And by doing so, we can consciously choose to change these beliefs in the areas of our life that are not going well And we can also use this to enhance those areas of our life that are going well. Our minds are like film in a camera. Our thoughts are recorded and we see them projected on the movie that is our life. And I tell you, sometimes I don't like the movie that I'm watching. And I am learning that I can change the channel. I can change the channel by changing my thoughts. When you want to change something, shift it to the focus in your life that you do want. And one of the ways we can do this by observing ourselves and analyzing our internal dialogue. How often do we take the time to listen to how we speak to ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, whether mentally or verbally? Sometimes that self-talk isn't something that I would want the public to hear. I'll acknowledge that. Being mindful of our thoughts and our conversations will bring to us the opposite of what it is that we're choosing not to experience. Being mindful of our thoughts and conversations are precisely what will bring to us what we do want. I have another example of a limiting belief that I have. I've held, and I keep saying each time I have a demonstration of the opposite, I'll say up until now. And so I'm going to say again, up until now, I've held this belief that I don't win anything and I never selected for anything, which I know is not the truth. But it manifests in those situations where I don't win something that I may have entered a contest for. So I had a recent example of this week that brought this to mind. I subscribe to emails and have done some courses with an organization called Guidely. They are a transformational and personal growth organization. And so there was an email invitation to register to be interviewed for potential contact and program designs. And so again, the dream stealer, the thought kicked in, well, I'll register, but. And whenever we place but in the middle of a sentence, it tends to cancel out everything that happened before. So I inserted the but followed by, they will not call me, I never get selected. Well, the universe had a different idea and it showed me the lesson real early. Within about an hour, I received a confirmation email that I had been selected to participate in the interview and offered dates for the interview to take place. And so that aha moment for me was the recognition that this is the second time this year, and we're only into the second month of the year, that I've had a demonstration of where I was invited into or had been the recipient of something that I had chosen to participate in. And so to eliminate this hidden belief, I go back to cause and create a new default that says, I am a winner. I am a winner. And I invite us to say that together. I am a winner. I am a winner. Feel it, feel the feeling tone of that. Really allow it to resonate with you and see how it feels. I am a winner. I am a winner. And I invite you, if that serves you and if it works for you, to post that someplace where you can see it and can remember it. And when those dream stealers, those times of doubt come in to take you off point, you can always say, I am a winner. I am a winner. Love and happiness is already within us. We are already what we are. And it is our awakening to our sufficiency that liberates us. The resolution to everything is within us. And so I offer these ideas for some practical application, reminding us again that what we focus on is what we create. What we focus on is what we create. Define your vision of life, who you really want to be, and set that goal every day and live it with self-discipline. Use your time wisely to dedicate yourself to better yourself more and more each day. And this was a quote, the universe is just so on point with its timing. From my yogi tea bag this morning was this affirmation or instruction, I would say, life instruction. The world needs your unique gifts. Don't leave them in, don't leave with them sitting inside of you. The world needs your unique gifts. Don't leave here with them sitting inside of you. Another practical application is create habits and rituals that will lead you to the life that you want to live and set you on the path to your vision. Habits are the vehicle that will lead us to our vision. So create those habits and rituals that are life affirming, that are life supporting, that will lead us in the direction that we want to go. The next practical application is to let go of everything that does not serve, especially anger, rage, resentment, envy, and jealousy. These can take hold and settle in our heart if we give them a chance. And scientific studies have shown that when we hold on to the anger and the rage and the resentment, the jealousy, and all of those things, it has a negative impact on our entire being. And this is what blocks us. Those unhidden, undiscovered habits that we hold on to is what limits us from really fulfilling our vision. The next practical application is meditation. And meditation is the opportunity to connect with God and to feel its presence. And the next one is to maintain a healthy and mental, emotional state, to raise your spiritual awareness by drawing from your inner strength without losing focus, and you will achieve it. So it is all about working all of these things together. Remember, our oneness with God is the greatest and most important revelation there is. We seek outside for what is inside by running away from the things that we do not understand. And so as we take the time to expand our awareness, to expand our periphery, to examine our hidden beliefs, to let go of the anger and the rage and the resentments, to spend time in meditation, then we turn to what we seek, knowing that it is inside of us. And I offer these reflection and journal questions for you today, and I've asked our tech team to place them in the chat for our Zoom community and in the comments on our Facebook page. And so the first question is, what are my dominant thoughts? Are they positive or negative? What are my dominant thoughts? Are they positive or negative? How do I know if I am using a universal principle correctly? How do I know if I'm using a universal principle correctly? And I'll give you a little insight. One response is meditation. This is one way to know that if you're using the principle correctly. And also taking classes, doing something that inspires your growth, whether it's a class through the center, an online class, a community-related class, something that allows you to grow and to expand. And then our third question is, what beliefs were established in me at an early age? And this is the key. What was established, what beliefs were established within me at an early age that no longer serve me now? This really is a key reflection point. What beliefs were installed within me by the grown people that set the course for my life, the big people that I looked up to care for and to provide for my needs? What beliefs did they install? And what beliefs did I pick up along the way based on those beliefs that are no longer serving me? It's time to let them go. It's time to let them go. And so our affirmation for the week to wrap all of this up is, I am the co-creator of my life. And let us say that together. I am the co-creator of my life. I am the co-creator of my life. Let us pray together. Knowing that I am, and I always am, an expression of the divine, this all-prevailing presence that is within me, that resides within me, right here and right now. I align myself with this all-prevailing presence, knowing that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is whole, it is perfect, it is complete. And that life is the life that I am living now. And that life is the life of each one that is joined in this time together, whether you are watching it in present moment or will be watching this at a future time, because there is no time and space in spirit. We're all one. We're all on this journey of awakening together. And we awaken at the time that is right for us to awaken. And as we let go of criticism and comparison and complaining about what another may have or what another may have gained or what another is not doing, as we let go of all of that stuff, we clear out that garbage, if you will. We clear out all of that stuff, that trash that gets in the way. And we tune into and tap into the pure essence of love that we are. This pure essence that was created out of love, in love, and as love. And so moving through this life as an expression of love, an expression of the divine, I know that everything in my life unfolds in perfect order at the right and perfect time, that I am ready to receive it, to embody it, to embrace it, to use it. And as I declare this truth for myself, I declare it for all who are part of this spiritual community, both locally and non-locally, knowing that as our thoughts expand, as our hearts expand, as our expressions of love expand, that we unite with other like beings, and we create this huge expanded container of love. I'm thinking of the song that says, what the world needs now is love. What the world needs now is love. And that love emanates from within the very recesses of our own beingness. I speak my word of blessing this morning for everyone who has a prayer request, whether you have completed a form and placed it in the prayer box here in the sanctuary, or have created a prayer request online and submitted it into the center. I know that the answer is always yes. Whatever it is that the heart is desiring, whatever it is that the heart is needing, whatever it is that the physical environment is requiring and asking and seeking to manifest in our experience, the Spirit is always saying yes. Our job is to get out of the way, to let go of the how, and to ask, what am I to know? What am I to be? And what am I to do? Knowing that those answers come to us in the silence of our own beingness. And when we follow that intuition, when we follow our internal God positioning system, everything unfolds as it is designed to be so. I bless communities where people are gathering in the name of love, regardless of the title that is used to define love, their particular practice of love, their inspiration. I know that this love supreme, this divine, this universal love intelligence is everywhere present for all being. And so those who are on this path of awakening, I bless each one, knowing that there may be points where our paths will be parallel. There may be times when our paths will intersect. And at those points of intersection, we greet each other with joy, with salutation, with an open heart, saying, I see you, I know you, I see who you are. You are an expression of the beloved, an expression of the divine. I speak a word of blessing and comfort for those who are experiencing transitions in their lives, transitions of loved ones who have crossed over into the next expression of what I call eternal life, that life which has no beginning and has no ending. And as a spiritual teacher once said at funeral service that I attended, there is no past life, there is no future life. That we all came into this experience from someplace. And when we leave this experience, we go to yet another place. This is what I believe. And so as we celebrate the journey that each one has taken, we can know that the next place is a divine, right, and perfect place for the expression and the expansion of the individual soul. And so for this and so much more, I give thanks. Releasing this word back into the law, which always says yes, I just allow it to be so. And if any of what I have said resonates with you in any way, let us affirm it by saying together, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I use this time to just serve as a reminder to our virtual community and to the members of our in-house community that as ministers and practitioners of the center, we are here to support you through all of life experiences. So call on us. Let us be here to serve you, to pray with you, to offer spiritual guidance to you. And in our newsletter, I have asked the editor to also include in there our Centers for Spiritual Living World Ministry of Prayer. You know, there are times when you may not want to talk to someone that is close to you, someone that you know in your own spiritual community. So there are other resources. Our World Ministry of Prayer through Centers for Spiritual Living, and there's also Silent Unity, and I will add their contact information too, because I truly believe that prayer asked is prayer answered. And so these are various means to support our community in just expanding and being the presence of God that we are. And now it is our opportunity to participate in the divine flow of circulation known as money. Thank you for the magnificent ways that you continue to support this center. And let us say together our statement of abundance. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And so it is. And on our screen are the various ways that you may contribute to the center through mailing in your donation. The address is there. By donating online, go to our website, secure website, and click on the donate button and enter your contribution there. And also you may contribute via text. And so I say thank you to our virtual community, to our Facebook community that has joined us this morning. Know that we love you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for you. And we invite you to tune in next week where we will continue our February series, The Inner Life. And our topic will be Forgive to Live. Forgive to live. So enjoy your day, enjoy this marvelous life wherever you are. Blessings.